Spaces like this one take dozens of people to maintain and operate, and they impact every aspect of our daily lives. Personally, I have a new appreciation for this fact. Take airports, for example. I recently took my first flight in a long time to Paris, and I was so happy that I actually enjoy standing in line for security. These days, a lot of the complex work of creating and renovating these spaces takes place in the cloud. And when COVID hit, you, architects, engineers, and contractors moved thousands of projects into the cloud for remote collaboration. And from what I heard, you will not go back to the way you were doing work before. Along with those projects came trillions of data points. In AEC, data is the fuel for digital transformation. Data, accessible, extensible, and open data is revolutionizing how we design and build the spaces that surround us. Think about our industry challenges right now. The built environment is aging. It's suffering the effects of climate change. It's the single largest consumer of energy and producer of greenhouse gas emissions. At the same time, AEC firms in charge of solving these challenges face talent shortages, supply chain disruption, and economic uncertainty. Owners deal with all of this, in addition to project cost overruns and market fluctuations that are squeezing their profit margins. In fact, 60 to 80% of their revenue goes toward operations and maintenance. But with every challenge comes opportunity. And today's opportunity is this: to take the momentum created by your move to the cloud and apply it to the entire industry. To unlock data so it can securely flow across project phases, teams and software, but also between physical and digital spaces. And that's where Forge comes in. Forge is behind everything we do. It's the foundation of how we build software for you. It's the hidden part of the iceberg of all the software you use every day. And the good news is, you or anyone can also use Forge to customize applications. And it's extremely powerful. Now we are giving you access to the same technology we use here at Autodesk to build your own solutions. When you have access to data and you have access to the API, you can start imagining new services. You can create new business models for what you do. You can disrupt yourself and create competitive separation. Our vision is to give you access to data and its insights throughout the project lifecycle by enabling a connected and continuous data flow on Forge, so you can make the best and most impactful business decisions.
If you ask me, the last year has shown us the value of one thing: connection. I've been using technology to connect to family and friends across the world. And my team at Autodesk has embraced tools like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and virtual whiteboards to collaborate across continents. But we've had to create rules around how to use them. For example, we encourage turning off cameras and limiting meetings to 45 minutes to prevent Zoom fatigue. Why am I telling you this? Well, because technologies that enable us to collaborate remotely also need to be governed by common standards and practices that we all agree on. Forge is built to provide a secure foundation for data sharing, but it is also built with a structure of common practices, technologies, and experiences to build, host, and operate the industry solutions of the future. When data is organized for accessibility and shareability, it powers up your workflows across tools and teams. Autodesk's vision is that Forge is the foundation to manage all of your data. Last year at AU, I talked about how the future of design is data-connected design. And now it's here. For example, today you can connect your Revit data directly to Microsoft Power Automate, making your BIM data available for a wide variety of users. And that's powered by Forge. You won't have to worry about whether your file ends with DWG or RVT. Instead, you share the data components you need across projects, regardless of discipline, product, or format. With Revit to Power Automate, you can connect hundreds of third-party tools like Excel, Slack, Teams or Google Drive and automate tasks such as synchronizing files, getting notifications, and collecting data, all while keeping your source files and IP secure. For example, when an architect publishes Revit model updates to BIM Collaborate Pro, Power Automate can push that data to multiple Excel sheets. No special coding capability needed. This is the kind of workflow a platform can enable. And this is just one of countless examples of what data-connected design can look like. The potential for increased efficiency is huge, and the opportunity for connection, limitless.
Having access to connected data all in one place changes how you understand the project lifecycle. Projects still begin with planning and design. Architects and engineers set the stage for how design will be communicated, what components are needed, and what the outcomes will be. Then, construction turns that vision into reality. Over the past few years, Autodesk has been focused on connecting A, E, and C workflow throughout the plan, design, and build phases. And that's why we created the Autodesk Construction Cloud environment on the Forge platform. Autodesk Construction Cloud not only connects designers, trades, and construction teams, but also includes field project management, estimating, and bidding capabilities. And these capabilities will only get stronger as Forge contains more data. But what happens to all that data at handover? In an ideal world, the data from construction moves smoothly into operations in the form of a model-based digital handover. Then, throughout the life of the building, owners continue to use the model to gather and store performance and maintenance insights. These insights add value to their portfolio and inform the planning for their next projects. In this ideal world, the project lifecycle is a figure 8, with data continuously feeding improvements. But as you all know, the world of AEC is not the ideal world. Most of the time, owners cannot use the models created during construction because these models were built for different purposes, such as quantity takeoff or clash detection. What owners need instead is a digital twin that is a replica of the physical asset that they can use post-construction. They can connect their systems like IoT and maintenance. With Forge, we are on the path to deliver this. Last year, we shared with you the beta for Tandem, our digital twin technology that organizes design and build data for a smooth digital transition to operations. And this year, we launched Tandem as a product. Tandem is just the beginning of our investments in operations. We've also made an investment in SpaceIQ to extend the use of BIM data post-construction. With the push of a button, you can seamlessly get your Revit and AutoCAD data directly into SpaceIQ Archibus software. And then you can deploy a modern IoT asset management system to better manage and improve the occupant's experience. This finally brings BIM to the last phase of the life cycle, enabling facility and energy managers to better understand and visualize a huge amount of live data created by occupants and building systems. This data will be used to optimize the asset for a better experience. And more importantly, it will also become the basis to improve future experience with generative design. Generative design needs data. And how do you get data? With Forge. Behind the scenes, Forge provides the foundation for a continuous project lifecycle that will fuel the next transformation post-construction. One good example of that is Prologis, one of the world's largest owners of logistics facilities.
I'm Glenn Hines. I am the Director of Building Information Modeling Systems for Prologis. Prologis, we are the largest logistics real estate company globally, with 5,000 buildings located around the world. Our customers range from everybody, mom and pop, local, to big, national names that we're all very familiar with. A few years ago, when I was in our Chicago market, they were unloading a truck. They had closed the door because of the weather, and one of the heister drivers turned around and shoved his forks through the door. We couldn't find a model number or a serial number. It became a challenge for our maintenance guys. They didn't know what to do. It was a turning point. I started to realize it all starts with placing the priority on data. If I know information about that data instantly and fast, I can immediately start working on getting a new door ordered. Data, to me, is a very generic term. Data can mean a set of construction documents, blueprints, all the way down to model numbers, serial numbers, anything that I can get out of those Revit models. The thing I like about Revit in general is that Revit is a living, breathing database of your design. Whether it's a warehouse, healthcare, it doesn't matter. If you're designing it in Revit, that database can easily be extracted out. It's very much like a Google search. We should be able to sit down, type something in, and it immediately goes and pulls information out of that Revit model for me instantly. But it also goes beyond that. Because we leverage data, we can now manipulate Revit in ways that I can draw faster. Early on in design, we now have the ability to run programs and add additional content so that we can lay out almost a full, complete design set of drawings in just a matter of a couple of minutes instead of weeks. By speeding up those design times, I can get it into permits, I can get into construction, and I can get my customers to move in a lot faster. So Prologis uses Autodesk Construction Cloud as our common data environment. That's my hub. That's where everything is pulling and getting the information from at a live working manner. So if I'm sitting in Atlanta and I have an architect in Brazil who is making changes to their model, I get to see those changes instantly. And that data is really designed for multiple stakeholders. As we're trying to develop these models and trying to make them smarter, that's ultimately for sustainability. We have design, construction, operations, and our building stays with us for a life cycle. So if I embed information today, I know what that data is still 20, 30 years later. I get excited for aha moments in this industry. I feel this industry is completely at a different level now than it has ever been before.
Projects driven by precise, insightful data don't just benefit the industry's bottom line. The industry needs these insights for sustainable use of resources. This goal of closing the project lifecycle loop is why we made some important acquisitions recently in planning and development. This year, Autodesk made the biggest acquisition of our history, Innovise, a global leader in water infrastructure software. We know that two things are coming down the line. Water infrastructure around the world is aging, and climate change is making access to clean and safe drinking water more difficult.
Did you know that only 0.006% of the world's water is accessible fresh water? And that water use has grown at more than twice the rate of population growth over the past 100 years? Water infrastructure underpins nearly every aspect of the built environment, and it will only become more critical as we face the challenge of climate change. Water utilities struggle to meet the demand. They need resilient digital solutions. As a civil engineer myself, I'm convinced that water is going to be the next frontier of innovation. The better we understand how water moves, how it interacts with the natural and built environment, the better we can manage it. And how do you manage this critical resource? You manage it with data. And this is what the acquisition of Innovise is all about. Innovise recognized the water infrastructure challenge years ago and has taken a data-driven approach to solving it. For example, with Innovise Info 360, we can use design, construction, and operations data to predict future performance with computational models that get smarter with every use. With Info 360, water infrastructure teams get only the data they need instead of a flood of irrelevant facts. Water utility owners can visualize and manage their assets and operations. And then, with machine learning, they can even predict and prepare for future needs. We're all driving towards transforming the industry. And to do that, we need to be smart about water at every single step.
And just like the rest of our tools, Innovise will leverage the Forge platform in the future. And with data on a common platform, you will get more accurate insights that will create more impactful outcomes. The connections available through platform are rapidly transforming Autodesk relationships with our strategic partners too. We are making the tools we can create with them more powerful. You heard about the SpaceIQ and Tandem workflows powered by Forge. That's not the only partnership using Forge to transform your work.
When Autodesk and Esri, the world leader in GIS, announced our partnership a few years ago, it was a natural fit. I live in Denver, which is one of the fastest growing cities in the US. Although I've lived there for 25 years, things change so quickly that regardless of whether I'm trying to find my way around town to a new place or just trying to avoid traffic to get to my favorite restaurant, GIS data makes navigating easier. GIS benefits AEC projects too. But connecting BIM in GIS has always been complicated, especially if you're not a professional that has spatial background. With Esri's launch of ArcGIS GeoBIM, we've made it easier to bring together BIM and GIS data. By using Forge-based capabilities, we can now connect GIS and BIM through a direct cloud integration between Esri's ArcGIS Online and our Autodesk Construction Cloud. Connecting data across the asset lifecycle is foundational to the digital transformation driving our industry today. Roughly 150 years ago, electricity was the catalyst for that era's industrial revolution. Today, electricity is a foundational aspect of the world's built assets, but it's not without a cost. Kambashi estimates that 40% of energy use needs to come from renewable sources by 2040 to accommodate the changing climate landscape. Our industry needs new tools to drive more resilient outcomes. This is why we're continuing to invest in our partnership with the leading electrical manufacturer, Schneider Electric. Together, we are working towards 3 key initiatives. First, we are addressing major gaps in BIM-based workflows for electrical design. This includes better support for industry standards in different countries. Second, we are delivering more comprehensive workflows in Revit by adding many long-standing customer wishlist items. New capabilities like single and multi-line diagramming address the very heart of electrical design. And third, we are working collaboratively with Schneider Electric on a new cloud-based solution built on Forge that will enable electrical engineers to design systems and size equipment for renewable energy sources. These initiatives are exciting. They help electrical engineers make better and more informed decisions and move us closer to our collective industry goals for carbon reduction. Forge connects workflows and provides structure to make sense of data. The BIM process continues to be the most efficient way to organize data, people, and workflows across the AEC lifecycle. That's why we continue to invest in our core BIM solutions. Revit 2022 was our biggest release in years. We added many of the top product features that were requested on our Revit Ideas forum for building design. For example, for early stage design, we added capabilities such as tapered walls, slanted wall profile editing, and improvements to generative design that allow for more informed decision making. We are also invested heavily in improving Revit's interoperability with other design software. This allows Revit design teams to better integrate and use these models in documentation and coordination workflows. One of my favorite examples of this type of interoperability is the Athletes Village for the 2024 Summer Games in Paris. This project had 11 architecture firms working together to communicate the designs quickly and seamlessly. Revit was the only tool that could support all the design disciplines, manage all the file types, including IFC and COBie, and deliver a single, coordinated model for the end user. But we haven't just been focused on building design. For civil engineering customers focused on infrastructure, we made major advances in bridge and tunnel design and added new dynamic corridor modeling capabilities that provide even more efficiency for transportation design. For land developers, we added even more enhancements to our newly released grading optimization that allows you to reduce time and increase the quality of your designs. Autodesk continues to invest in advancing the BIM process.
The exciting thing about enabling the BIM process with a platform like Forge is that we will be able to move past the need for file types and support the use of granular data. No more sharing bulky files. Instead, you'll pass along exactly the subset of data that's needed. Take a cross-industry project, for example, where a site grading team accesses their common data environment to browse, select, and share the exact data that is most relevant to them. They can create a data package that will then appear on the project timeline for other teams to consume. The architectural team will see the new data package from the civil team. They can explore it without accepting it and then consume only the data they need, which they'll transfer to their own team data structures. This kind of controlled data exchange is crucial to enable transparent cross-industry collaboration. Our design collaboration tools, BIM Collaborate Pro and BIM Collaborate, as well as Autodesk Docs, are integrated on the Autodesk Construction Cloud, which is built on the Forge platform. That means that from design through pre-construction through specs, all your data will live in just one common data environment. Whether you are designing projects or reviewing and managing them, your team won't be held back anymore by data silos, lost change orders, or outdated information. Instead, there's just your team performing at its best.
When we use the same data, we speak the same language. It's possible to do this across design, construction, and operations to achieve the figure 8. A fully connected data and insights experience for the built environment. With the Forge platform, this connection will become seamless and insights powered by data and AI will be transformative. Some of you may have noticed by now, the figure 8 on each side is really the infinity sign. This speaks to the circular cycle of resources the industry needs to create a resilient and sustainable future. Not just design, build, operate, but design, build, operate, optimize, and reuse. This cycle finally brings the value of BIM to the project decision makers who have been left in the dark until now. The owners. Owners are ready for change. They see disruption on the horizon. With insights flowing across project phases through operations and back into planning, we can move toward a new vision of collaboration. Autodesk has been serving architects, engineers, and contractors for almost 4 decades. By extending data to operations, we can serve not just AEC, but AEC and O. It's about connecting data and people so we can achieve the infinity loop, empowering innovators like all of you.